Like playing weird things on side, it's the best for us. Bad thing is that I feel like right now in this meta you can only do it on red side kinda. It's hard to do it on blue side.
Yeah.
Do we have the side select? Well, we don't have to.
We are blue side, yeah. Oh yeah.
But they chose blue side, so maybe they have something up their sleeve
Also,
ready for the first pick.
What do you think about this group? Are they good at bouncing back after a lost game or not?
Lately, I would say no, to be honest.
Oh, damn.
So
Come on.
The honesty.
Lately, I would say no, but hopefully we will see some good stuff this game. Kalista out, Poppy out, as well, Bai and Varus. Kind of standard, right?
Yeah, I was interested about the side selection as well because Devi is such a contested pick between these two junglers. They're like the two junglers. I'll give the pass, so we'll probably see it banned throughout all of it. Jax is being banned instead. Response ban comes through. That means Jojo can get a Yone on one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Boom.
And then a Sejuani 2-3 maybe for the side of MKOI can have a very similar to the Giant X
Yeah,
draft.
to the Giants. Yeah.
I think that draft was really good.
Yeah.
It's just really solid and you can pressure mid really well. I haven't been convinced by Jojo's Yone. I don't know what you think about it.
I mean, I think that Jojo had like on the past confidence problems with this champ.
Yeah.
And on Winter he said it was really good for him. And like he felt comfortable, one of his best picks. So hopefully we'll go find this game. It's gonna be a Sejuani, right? For sure in second pick. And what are they looking for there?
Probably
Azir.
a Maokai for Fnatic. No, Maokai is here.
Yeah, Maokai Azir could be fine.
But that's a scary front to back. I mean, you have to really try to camp this mid, but more aggressive pick in the Xin instead. So you're more willing to leverage that 2-2 and try to fight around it.
I mean, you do get mid-prow as well from the early stages into the Yone here, so there's some possibilities of going some early invades into Elyoya. Ezreal is left open as well so far, I believe.
Jack also hates Ezreal, so...
I don't hate Ezreal.
Oh no, it takes a long
By
time.
the way, you are Ezreal in real life, bro. Like, you look at
It's actually true.
You are him, bro. Like, you're him.
Yeah, it's true.
I like Ezreal. I think it's a good champ. I only hate Corki. That's the only champ I hate.
I think you said just because in some games, of course, it takes a little bit to have all the impact you'd want. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal is a hard champ to carry on. That's the biggest thing. Because, like, you need to hit all the skill shots.
Yeah.
So it's like, if your team is losing and they don't give CC for you, it's really hard.
In the context of this game, then, it might be hard.
Well, that's presuming they're going to lose already. It's only
I don't know.
2%. But I think, like Sejuani, Ezreal, Yone, now you have some magic damage from the Ezreal as well. Maybe you do a mixed damage top. I really like the MKOI draft so far.
With Kai'Sa out, I think it's easier to pull out the Ezreal blind pick, right?
Yeah.
I think it has, like, some more impact. What are they ending there? Like, third pick? It could be some power pick on the top lane, maybe. 2 bans.
Yeah, or maybe match AD because worried about getting pinched on AD. Could go something like the MF, just to life steal up. Yeah, the Ezreal poke.
Yeah, like Upset always plays like good matches, you know, like good matchups.
Yeah, he likes a good matchup.
Like dominant.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it gets scary as well, because we've started seeing more rotation from Fnatic in general. I think they're becoming one of the more mobile teams in general. So having a priority lane from Upset where they like to go for these pincer swaps, making it uncomfortable for the enemy top laner, that's a scary thing to deal with.
Yeah, and with MF, it's so easy to swap right, because you have so much movement speed with the W, so you can easily reach any lane and always kind of have a tempo advantage. And I'm curious to see if they're able to, like, as Fnatic here, would you want to try to last week support for a better support matchup? Or do you just say we need this top counter pick against the Seju?
That's a good question. Let's see what we do. I would like a Breezer on top because of the Sejuani, but there is no much left, right? Like, Jax is out, Renekton is out. I don't know what we can play. So maybe some tank, but...
I really don't want to see a tank, I think, because then you have double tank and it's like Myrwn on tank.
Yeah, and we need AP damage, right?
Yeah.
There is something left, Aurora.
Yeah.
Aurora might be the one.
Yeah.
But also, the support pool is really limited right now.
Yeah.
Rare Lallister out of the picture, Leona Braum out of the picture. Could look like a Nautilus angle at this point.
Yeah, like Nautilus, Rakan are the ones that definitely strike to me. I think Rakan from the side of MKOI.
Gonna put in Mickey Fiddlesticks is something that could come in as a surprise pick with an MF ultimate, but
He's showing it, like he covered it on the first game.
Yeah,
I was like a bit scared. Let's see. Actually, with MF, I think that you're going for the Nautilus maybe, but
Yeah. This could go either way for
Mickey. But Mikyx Nautilus,
it's
very good.
It's very good or very bad.
I think it's very good. I love by Mickey now.
Okay.
I will just say, some of the worst games that comes out from Mickey has been on that champion.
That's true.
Lady Com, bro.
Oh.
No.
You don't
Do you like it?
I don't mind it because you have the magic damage from the Ezreal and you don't really have any true tank on the side of Fnatic. And you can't really pick a tank into Ambessa anyways.
Okay.
Most likely.
Let's see.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, but I don't like it because, I mean, of course it's viable, but you make them like...
Oh!
It's a Wukong top AD.
But what is happening with the top matchup today? Like, Oscarinin is the one playing Warwick and Wukong, while Myrwn is just playing Wake for him.
How does it work when Ambessa ults the Wukong and Wukong W's forward? It goes to the...
It goes to the clone, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But ideally, you just want to dash away, and he just hits the clone anyway.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Wukong is really good because he has the crazy innate armor from his passive.
Yes.
So he's just going to be able to stack that up and be super tanky.
Okay, who's winning?
And do you consider him a tank? I think so, right? Low-key.
Kind of. But I think I actually still like MKOI's draft more.
Yeah?
I think Sejuani Yone is just so
trust
suitable.
him. Fully trust this guy. I trust you, bro.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you really want them to win as well. Some final words for your team or about your team.
Let's hope that we win with this full AD comp.
Let's go.
Let's pray to God, make the 1-1 and come back the series.
Okay, nice. That's our draft for Game 2. Hopefully, Movistar KOI can rally and bring us to a Game 3. It would be sad if they can't in this arena.
Really sad.
We still want to see Grabs sing on stage, so that would be in case of Fnatic loss, perhaps. I think the casters are ready, so let's kick it over to them.
Do you feel like it's been kicked over to you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's still in the air.
Oh, yeah, we're just waiting for it to land.
There it is.
Ah, nice, excellent. We've received it back here, and we are ready to get into Game 2 of this best of 3. Some interesting picks here. The Wukong top, obviously, not something we have commonly seen, / I can't remember the last time we saw it.
I actually saw a decent chunk of it in the LPL.
Yeah, LPL, sure, but I meant LEC.
Oh, in the LEC, yeah. But I think that, like, I actually love it in this context. So, Wukong's passive, the stone skin, every time you auto it, you get increased armor, which makes you very, very strong in the early stages, particularly into something like Ambessa. But when you hit the level 6, you just auto-kill. Like, it is absurd how strong your level 6 spike is. So this is where I think, especially as you're trying to play to Ambessa, who isn't the strongest in the early stages, I think Oscarinin can just bully, because every time you use the Nimbus strike as the E, I think, it hits onto multiple people. You get that AoE. You also get that burst of attack speed, which makes trading very easy. And also then your Q has that increased range, which makes it very difficult to try and trip back in. Now, less so against Ambessa because she is quite mobile, but still, you're very, very strong in the early laning phases, Wukong.
I have done a quick look up. Photon played it last in 2024 spring. Wukong top. Before that, Wonder played it one game, Adam played it in 23. A lot of it was played back in 2021, which is when you were LPLing.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's probably where we saw a lot more of that Wukong top. Mid lane, though, not too unconventional.
It actually, funny enough, came out as a Jace counter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it was, you could close the distance and then your level 6 was disgusting. So.
Oh, here we have Oscarinin jumping in, procking that bone plating on Myrwn. Can just walk away and farm up the wave. Obviously, Nimbus Strike going to hit a couple of those minions as well when you do jump in, so it helps you clearing out the wave. It's a Conqueror into Grasp matchup. Top Myrwn, the one running the Grasp, whereas Oscarinin looking for that Conqueror. Your clone helps you stack that up as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and it beats the clone, the attack range. You can see how strong the Nimbus Strike is as well. It just makes it all very difficult to trade against the Wukong. Plus the stacking armor is just, it's just crazy. So again, like in the early stages, it's more like you get pushes Wukong, nothing crazy happens. But when you hit 6, you have to be so careful of his armor.
We'll keep our eyes up for it. As Alvaro and Supa do have the push in the bot side. The Rakan with that Gleaming Quill can sustain a little bit better. Looks like Supa's hit a couple of Mystic shots as well, as Upset and Mikyx have taken a bit of a chunk. Supa's running the barrier this game, whereas Upset has the Cleanse to get away from the Quickness, the Glacial Prison. A little bit of CC coming out from MKOI.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because both junglers moving up towards the top side means that Elyoya might have an opportunity to try and get in towards Wukong before he actually crashes wave, but you can see there, like, one, the amount of trading power he has, especially because the clone will use the increased auto range as well, and you get that double hit, like double Q proc off of your clone too. But also the fact then that it's so hard to hit the stuff you need to.
Alvaro going back in with Grand Entrance there. Does mean that Mikyx takes a couple more auto attacks and a Mystic shot from Supa, but the Gleaming Quill not healing Alvaro up as much as he'd like. He's running the heal in that lane, so if he does take a really bad trade, he should be okay. Jojo a bit more damage from that tower shot than he would have liked as well. Myrwn's been able to heal up but through the Doran shield, but also through the cookies. Or just the pots actually so far, as Oscarinin tries to come down to help his jungler. Razork stunned up with the permafrost. He's going to have to flash away. Oscarinin, does he still have the decoy clone? Walks away from Myrwn, steps back to hit him with a crushing blow, and then decoys away.
Yeah, and that's, as you can see, the clone will just continue to hit, so Myrwn taking a little bit of a worse trade there, but both junglers still sitting here. Razork trying to be a bit of a nuisance, but I think without the level 6s, you don't win this.
Oh, Elyoya flashes. They know Razork doesn't have flash. He's going to dash onto Myrwn, but Razork's already down. Oscar's now in the middle of Elyoya and Myrwn. Myrwn flashes away, and Oscar's dead. It's a double for Elyoya. Deja vu, I have seen this story before.
Yeah, massive mistake from the Fnatic top side. Way too greedy on the play, and they end up giving across the kills now. Both at least to Elyoya, which means Oscarinin still stands a chance in the lane, but that is not the start that you wanted.
We're 2 kills away from Elyoya. Greatness once again in the early game. Mickey here is going to flank Jojopyun, just going to wait for him.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there's the staggering blows. Jojo has the Q3 to get away, but the dredge line does still connect. Jojo holding on to the flash and can do that with a big minion wave built up. Humanoid doesn't want to tank the damage from it, nor does he want to. That was close. Nor does he want to lose any of the
Nice barrier for Supa. So pop the barrier
true.
so that then if the damage doesn't get through the barrier, it doesn't interrupt the reset. So nicely done by Supa to guarantee that tempo and make sure they can get up towards that top side.
Yeah, does mean that he won't have the barrier for the next couple of minutes, but should be okay with that. He's Ezreal, can play really safe, just Mystic Shot the wave if he needs to. Oscar and Myrwn meeting down towards this bottom side once again. Only a slight difference in terms of itemizations because, as we said, Elyoya got the kills. So Myrwn has gone double longsword, whereas Oscar has gone for the Ruby Crystal longsword.
Yeah, probably going up towards the Sunder Sky. I have seen some people in the past used to just rush Black Cleaver because you could just proc that so quickly, both through the clone and everything else. So I imagine he'll still look for the all-in at level 6. Actually just reset there as well. So I'm still curious to see how Fnatic want to try and play this out, because I think you still got a strong early game for Fnatic where you can try and use the Xin Zhao to pressure down towards the bottom side, like play towards Mickey and upset and just kind of force an isolation for Oscarinin. But at the moment, you're just trying to basically keep away from Myrwn and Oscarinin.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Is it? It feels like trying to put Myrwn in a bad spot rather than trying to get Oscarinin more farm. Like, he's going to be able to farm up fine towards the top side, and he's not really under too much threat from an Ezreal and a Rakan. So Myrwn underneath this tower will struggle a little bit more. Nautilus has more CC than a Rakan, like 4 CCs in his kit, but also outside will just have a little bit more damage at this point in the game on the MF.
I think it's also the fact you can use the clone ultimate on Oscarinin to clear the wave if you really need to as well.
A bit like an equalizer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I think, like, at least in my eyes, a lot of the reasons why you pick Wukong in the solo lane is for punishing the specific matchup, so the fact you're shifting away from that is a little curious. Now, Upside is still getting, like, value, he's still getting gold, he's still getting plates and that. It's just, it feels weird to not try and have that matchup.
Alvaro hooked up. Elyoya there for him to battle dance too. Can Arcticus across the wall, and of course Alvaro can use that grand entrance as well, as Supa tries to put some damage onto Upset, but doesn't land anything after the initial Essence Flux. Oscar and Myrwn both level 6 now, but again that itemization difference with Myrwn building up towards an Eclipse and Oscarinin going towards that Sundered Sky.
And also the fact that Myrwn has just reset to TP top, right? So he actually has a bit more gold spent, so it's kind of setting him up nicely, which is why I think Oscarinin will probably play a little passive for the moment and then eventually look for his own reset. Meanwhile, Razork trying to play down towards his bottom side, because you're also the Fnatic bot lane didn't get to reset because they went for that play on towards, I think it was Alvaro, so you're kind of in the spot where Fnatic are a reset behind and need to wait for their moment to find that.
Yeah, you can see Supa already with the Sheen in the tier, just stacking that up. Oscar and Myrwn still trading on the top side. Neither jungler in a position to gank anywhere right now, though, so it seems like both teams willing just to, you know, poke and prod, not really find too much. Fnatic should be pretty comfortable farming up in this game as well. They're pretty good scaling with the Azir. MF falls off a little bit later on, but if people are CC'd, that bullet time's still going to rip people to shreds.
Yeah, and you don't really have, apart from Elyoya, a lot of tanks there, and they tend to kind of congregate in the same area as melee champions, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. But at the moment, I think it's kind of Fnatic needing to get this reset, and my eyes are just drifting to Elyoya. Like, once you start to see people disappearing off the map, Is it try and push in bot to go for a quick dragon? But within position on the top side and those resets, actually they're just interrupted again on Fnatic, but at least those resets trying to come through. I think you've got a timing window here for Elyoya.
He's currently looking up towards the top lane. Razork is there as well. Alvaro goes in with the grand entrance. Jojopyun coming out as well as Supa dashes forward. Will get stunned up, or rooted at least, with the staggering blows. Mikyx forced down to 150 HP and likely will just have to back. Upset uses the last of his mana on the Make It Rain. Does he have 100? Can he just bullet time this wave? The risk, of course, is if you bullet time from too close to Alvaro, you might just be jumped on immediately.
Yeah. And now with the wave crashing in, I just don't think you get the chance to try and do it because Alvaro will be able to stop you and interrupt you before you get to the tower. Sejuani in position bomb, but now Razork here to show up as well.
Alvaro goes in, the wave there in time. Now Supa flashes forward, Upset cleanses and flashes away. Didn't need the cleanse, but did burn it anyway. Now Supa with no flash is jumped up by Razork. Alvaro has a depth charge following him. Flash hook across the wall, the battle dance not used. Alvaro falls, and now it's 2 for 2.
Supa thought he had the outplay, was hoping that the flash into the arcane shift would finish the kill, but unfortunately, Upset able to flash away, and now Myrwn actually...
That's public execution here if he does want to go in.
Not going to follow, but yeah, so bot lane going Fnatic's way. This topside matchup not quite working out as you would hope for Fnatic, but at least the dragon going the direction, but we'll see it here. Like, this is where Alvaro, as you alluded to, trying to interrupt the potential bullet time coming through, gets the knock up, and then it's the flash. The arcane shift will automatically target whoever Essence Flux is on, which is what Supa was hoping for, but Razork in the area, good counter gang, as Elyoya was already in the area, and Fnatic are able to pick up 2 off the back of this.
It's one of the reasons that Upset was willing to stay with that next wave, as Razork was sprinting down there immediately. So Upset gets the kill. And one goes over to Razork as well, which evens out that jungle gold just a little bit. Myrwn was feeding out Oscar on the top lane and continues to do so. Repudiation giving him the extra little bit of shielding that he needs.
But this is the point where this matchup is just all in Myrwn's favor. He's already got his Eclipse completed. You haven't really got to power through that early level 6 power cycle of Oscarinin because there was so much rotations on the map. And now he's going for a more expensive item. And you do spike pretty hard off a Triforce, but like the big power spike is that level 6, and it feels like you kind of missed that window. And now Myrwn just having the shield off of Eclipse trading and also his W is going to make it a lot more difficult to find those all-in windows as Oscarinin.
With MKOI having control of the top side of the map, they were able to pick up 6 grubs and about 1,000 gold lead so far. Most of that sitting on Myrwn, who's got himself a couple of plates. Humanoid answering the pressure of Jojo down towards this bottom lane. Alvaro is waiting around the corner, but you can see Mikyx working his way across here as well to cover for his mid laner because he's about half HP.
So this is where Fnatic just going to open up with Upset in position to keep pushing waves, and you just try and hold out on the side lanes. Like, there's no real window that you have to worry about here. As Fnatic, you're going to continue to scale into a decent spot with this Azir. It's more, I feel like, on Movistar KOI to try and make plays, and that sounds weird because they do have the lead, but maybe they're trying to make that play on Oscarinin at the moment.
That's what Elyoya is doing. Might just be covering Myrwn as he pushes in the wave. Oscarinin does have that Cyclone. Would be risky to dive him.
But yeah, this is where like you need to try and find turrets and advantages on the map state if you're going to be Movistar KOI. You have those 6 grubs, so having a chance to use them. But oh, Humanoid misses.
Yeah, Jojo just dodges away, unbinds his soul for a second, and then dashes back, realizing he doesn't win the extended trade into Nash's Tooth Azir. Humanoid has forced Jojo down to about half HP. Alvaro's coming across. Humanoid flashes away from the Fate Seal. Jumps onto Mikyx as Alvaro went in with the quickness. Mikyx doesn't have the flash and is locked up with the Glacial Prison. Jojopyun coming down, and it's Supa who claims the kill. Humanoid dashing in, thinking he'd catch out Alvaro, who has to flash across the wall. Supa falling low to Upset, who doesn't have a flash of his own. Humanoid stunned towards the bottom side, trying to survive, and Elyoya has made him meet his maker. Upset's coming across. Razork dashing in here, looking for a little bit more as Jojo and Alvaro are both low. Upset clearing out a control ward, because he doesn't really think he can do much more as Razork goes back in, crescent guard, make it rain across the wall. Razork, well, Alvaro jumps back in, there's the permafrost, Alvaro's dead to the double up. Upset finds him. Oscar almost dead in the top side as well. And Myrwn holds on to the verbal execution and flashes and then dashes out. Oscar falls.
Oscar falls on the top side. Alvaro goes too far on the bot side. But it's Movistar KOI who are still kind of getting these leads. You have Jojo who's still covering that bot wave. So he's going to be able to pick that one up, and it's not like the tower or any of these plates are going to fall, so Movistar KOI responding decently thanks to Myrwn in that top side.
Yeah, Myrwn having an absolute tear for the start of this game. 1.2k ahead. Triforce now complete for Oscarinin, but as you said, the spike has been missed. Let's have another look at this. Humanoid flashes away to start it off.
Yeah, so Mikyx ends up getting locked up. He doesn't have that flash available, so he's just trying to walk it out, but Humanoid is getting some decent damage onto Alvaro as this fight goes on, gets caught by the last, that Q3, and Alvaro's forced to flash as he goes over the wall. But I think in this position, like, this is where it gets a little messy. Upset is forced to go for the fight, which then kills Humanoid, but I'm surprised Razork continued as deep as he did on this play. I knew he had the ultimate, but at this point it's like, hey, yeah, you're going to get the Krugs, but I thought the pressing guard would be more valuable in something like an upcoming objective fight. Now, he probably will still have it back up, but it was Alvaro who just ended up going that bit too far. Then ended up netting the kill for Upset off the back of it. So now 3 kills on towards Upset.
Oh, Myrwn, that was gorgeous! A public execution to dodge the Emperor's Divide. Elyoya comes across the wall and picks up his 4th of the game.
That was so nice from Myrwn. And Myrwn kind of styling on them. This was the guy that we said, look, he's the guy to watch on Movistar KOI. He's been having an absolute stormer. Has been picking up so many champions. And we had him on Euphoria, and he was talking about how hard he's been working on so many of these like classic picks in the top lane. And you can see that paying off in the Ambessa now.
Jojo's got Oscar's number as well. Talked about the stone skin. You need to auto to get that extra armor, right? So Oscarinin not even having the opportunity to auto here. Alvaro on the chase as well. Oscarinin going to try and survive underneath the tower. Jojo tanks it up first. But with the 6 Void grubs, this tower will fall pretty sharpish. Cyclone coming out. There's the base seal as well. The clone going to get the extra knockup, but look at how low Oscar is. And Razork unable to finish off Alvaro as of yet. Now he gets him. It's a double. As Jojo and Alvaro fall, Razork had to flash forward for the kills.
Yeah, they try to go for the dive, but it doesn't quite work out. And again, Razork in position on this bottom side to turn around some of the Movistar KOI plays. It's still scrappy though. This has been haymakers back and forth as each team trying to see if they can get some crack in the armor here.
Upset 3-0, Alvaro 3-1. On the other side, Myrwn, he's only won 0-3, but he's taken a ton of plates, a ton of gold in his back pocket. 1.5k ahead of Oscarinin and Elyoya, already stacking up that heart seal on the Sejuani. Fnatic aren't going to fight over this Drake, with the 3rd neutral objective of the game going over to MKOI.
Yeah, the 2k gold lead is a nice little buffer for Movistar KOI, but it feels... This game feels so bizarre. It's like so many of the points where you think, okay, you can slow down and try and play through this position haven't really been happening. Now, Movistar KOI are going to move over to Rift Tower to try and control it, but the Upset getting accelerated should be a strong point for Fnatic to play through. But because Movistar KOI have been so accelerated in the side lane through Myrwn, it makes it very difficult to try and play through that. So Humanoid also going for these kind of big plays hasn't worked, and then Mikyx calls.
Nautilus Death Fund is eating well. Flash across the wall. Good dredge line. We'll get Mikyx out. I guess the Death Fund will have to wait for another day, as he's only died once this game. Oscarinin, 2 whole levels behind, basically. It's like 1 in 8/10. There's a better fraction for that. 4/5. There we go. As Jojo goes in with a fade seal from long range. Jojo finds it. Oh, okay. They doubted his Yone on the desk, but Jojo's coming out punching in this game.
It has been spectacular for him, and again, it's a lot of that has been Elyoya driving force in the backcourt line, Mikyx just being a nuisance here, but also then just having the Myrwn being able to solo win at the lane, and now...
Death shot's going out. I think Mikyx was being a little bit more of a nuisance. The quickness used by Alvaro. It's going to be Razork falling first. As Fnatic begin to retreat, they do manage to pick off Jojo, but it's Mikyx that gets that kill. MKOI have an extra man right now. Humanoid's back up, does have teleport, but is going to dive in towards that top side. Rift Herald summoned, and it will be a tier 2 for MKOI.
Yeah, Myrwn's did a public execution, so I was a little nervous that what was meant to happen. But Fnatic will back away, but this is exactly what you want to see from Movistar KOI. That strong engine in the early game, taking over, now feeding those kills in the side lanes. They're getting control of the map. They're accelerating the pace of the game well. And a lot of it again coming off the back of one pick, but then Elyoya being there to cover for Razork, they managed to get Supa into a position where he's just beating on towards upset as well, which means he has to flash away. And it's MKOI collapsing faster and dictating the pace of this play. And with Myrwn TPing in as well, you can see no one on Fnatic wants to play.
Yeah, especially when the Rift Herald comes down. It's like, okay, we'll just back off. There's no point trying to save this tower. MKOI invading the bot side jungle as well, denying Razork as much as they can. And Elyoya equal on farm with the Zhao at 19 minutes on a Sejuani is a very happy place to be. Has a Bramble Vest, Warden's Mail, and a Giant Spell alongside his Heartsteel. He is a massive tank, and as much as Azir does do damage to tanks, he's like, Humanoid isn't in a position where he'll actually shred someone yet. Needs the Leandrides, needs to get 3 items before he can really work his way through Elyoya quickly.
Yeah, but that is kind of the story for both of the solo laners. It feels like you don't have anyone who can actually effectively fight.
Yeah.
And you're kind of then relying on Razork, who, yes, has some kills and upset, but upset, as we all know, quite ultra-reliant in these fights. And if your solo laners can't set you up, how do you go for him?
Oh, Mikyx with a good Hex Flash hook. The Depth Charge going to go down, but the bullet time not in range of Alvaro and Supa, who managed to escape. Arcane Shift in the Battle Dance alongside Alvaro's Flash get them to safety.
Yeah, upset a bit shy on it, and this is what I was going to say, is like, unless you have ways to set up MF, she doesn't really do much. And Supa, very mobile. Alvaro, Jojopyun, all these champions are incredibly mobile, so trying to lock them down in that one place when you already have 2 solo laners that are behind just means it's difficult to enable upset in these fights.
It really is. Ataka now started by MKOI. They know there's no depth charge, they know there's no bullet time, and it seems like they know Fnatic aren't going to fight them over it. 3,000 gold to lead for MKOI. They will get Ataka to their names as well.
Well, Movistar KOI played this so well.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to see, because I think there was a lot of questions raised on them, like after the Vitality series, where it was just like, what was this? Vitality absolutely dismantled them, but the fact that here, Elyoya able to get the same control he got last game, but now in a champion that is far less team reliant, or at least he can enable his team more, and Movistar KOI looks significantly better. Also, Myrwn back on the Ambessa looking fantastic. It's just like the top side of the map has gone so fantastically from Movistar KOI. And even Jojopyun, like the play on towards Humanoid on that top side, really just shut down anything that Azir wants to be relevant in the rest of this game. So at this stage, I think just playing for these objectives, like the Dragon in 15 seconds, is just perfect for him.
Yeah, that's what they'll be going for. It'll be their second Dragon of the game. It's an Ocean Soul for us here. They have 2 items on Supa, 2 items on Elyoya, 2 items on Myrwn. I don't really think Fnatic will want to fight. In fact, I think they definitely won't. This Humanoid is caught out in a side lane. And MKOI, alongside the Drake, will take a tier 2 as their treasure.
This is kind of just dismantling Fnatic.
Yeah.
After the last game, I thought this would kind of be what we saw Fnatic doing, but Movistar KOI dictated the pace of this game, catching Humanoid inside, and now continue to just be a menace on the map. It was a little slow moving back over towards the Dragon, as it seems like they wanted to try and stick around potentially for this mid lane turret, but a bit unsure as to exactly what they want to do. I imagine Reset's going to come through as the Dragon just finishes off now.
Yeah, you'd assume so, right? Go back, make sure you spend all of your gold. You've picked up a lot of it in the last few minutes, so don't give Fnatic the opportunity to get back into the game. We saw Series 1 had a ton of throws in it. We saw even Game 1 have a few throws in it, right? Like, you just want to make sure you're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's, you're doing it all by the numbers. Jojo, playing as safe as he can, will clear out this wave. Combines his soul a mile away, and well, it doesn't quite get all of the minions, but Q3 will do it for him.
Yeah, they were a little nervous because they saw that Mikyx was trying to cheat tempo on mid and get some vision control, so into Movistar KOI's topside jungle, so maybe a little scared that they were going to transition over to the top side, but it doesn't end up happening. I think Fnatic looked like they've been put on a leash. Like, they don't really want to push out too far on the map. They have 0 wards essentially in their own jungle. There's like a couple on the bottom side, but it feels like only a matter of time until Movistar KOI put enough threat on this mid lane turret that it's going to fall.
Humanoid has just finished his Leandri, so if you're a Fnatic fan, there is a little bit of hope. The Azir will begin to melt his opposition, but the problem is his opposition is so damn tanky right now. Like Elyoya's Randuin's Heartsteel, upgraded plated steel caps, I think they're chainmail laces or something, and then the Bramble Vest as well. So he also has to deal with the fact that Myrwn can just push out a side wave. He has the Last Whisper, Eclipse, and Sundered Sky already complete, so it's going to be tricky for Fnatic to play on all the points of pressure. And what will probably end up happening is, as we see Fnatic reacting to the side lanes, that's when MKOI invests a little bit more into going towards this mid lane. You can see Elyoya very happy to eat a dredge line.
They do have to be a little careful, though, of trying to play in towards the jungle, because if you set yourself up for Azir Soldier multi-hits, big depth charge damage, upset having that ultimate across the top, that's probably Fnatic's way back into this game.
So to not choke, avoid the choke.
Yes.
Cool. Use abdominal thrusts for that in the medical industry.
Sure.
It used to be called the Heimlich maneuver, but we don't call it that anymore. We call it abdominal thrusts. That's how you avoid choking.
I wonder what Twitch chat is saying.
The problem is Twitch chat doesn't know the difference between an abdomen and the glutes. That's the issue. Okay? Can't trust Twitch chat with anything.
Is this what you're learning?
Probably doing the sussy or something. Yeah, this is what I'm learning from watching House again. I think every medical student worth their salt has watched House and been really proud of themselves when they get it before House gets it. It's like, oh, it's rabies. Hydrophobia? Yes.
I love the idea that like regular students go to pub quiz, medical students just all go to someone's house.
Yeah, you should watch House on Scrubs. The Glacial Prison hits onto Razork, and we talked about the risk of defending the mid-tier one. Well, that's the risk, and now it gets even riskier. The TP comes in from Oscarinin, does get the Cyclone down, looks for the second, but there's no follow-up from the rest of the team. Oscarinin's dead again. 7-0-2 now for Elyoya.
Yeah, that was a very deep TP for Oscarinin, and Fnatic left him out to dry. MKOI immediately over towards the Baron. Humanoid's gone to the bot side, and that's going to be it. I mean, MKOI with this just continue to keep that pressure up in mid, and what are Fnatic going to do? There is zero interaction in this game.
Lose.
Ah, thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
I kept saying win in my head. I was like, that's not
no.
the right word.
Good catch from Jojo again. Credit to him. His Yone's been absolutely on point here. Elyoya coming in with the Glacial Prison. It's the problem when you're having to defend multiple lanes as well as Fnatic.
I think it's also nice to just see Jojopyun stepping up, because even in some of the interviews, or even from the people that you saw on the desk, was like, well, Jojo has already been struggling. Well, not struggling is a bad word, but like, he hasn't been playing up to the standard he holds himself to. Yeah. And then it was also going to be nervous going towards a crowd where you felt that pressure to perform as well, because you have so many fans that are in the building that are supporting you. But Jojo seems to be thriving off it. Like, this has been a spectacular game from him, and probably one of the best he's had this year, I'd say.
I'd put it up there.
Yeah,
I'd definitely put it up there. I can't recall every single one of his games immediately, but I think he has had a really good impact. And even though he's only 2-2-5, I think the threat that he's provided for the team at all points has been exceptional so far. Now with the Baron, MKOI looking to even out this series. 7,500 gold lead. I have seen games thrown from this gold score with Fnatic in them.
I've also seen them from MKOI.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. Okay. Not over till it's over. Elyoya trying to put that final nail in the coffin as he does step forward here. Not really any damage. Oscarinin jumps forward and he's like, oh, nope. I'll leave the clone there and back away.
Yeah, the problem is, unless you have Humanoid there, Elyoya doesn't die.
Yeah.
So with Humanoid elsewhere on the map, Elyoya is like, cool, I'm just going to walk in here and do what I want.
Oscarinin level 14 to the level 17 of Myrwn. Jojo 17 as well, as Humanoid's only 15.5. Myrwn will be able to take the top in here. There's the Cyclone in onto him. Glacial Prison does go wide. Death Judge there for the follow-up, but with the quickness coming out, they can't get onto the backline. Razork dives in. Jojo's killed Humanoid down towards the bottom side. Myrwn's still alive. Razork eventually will get the kill. A 1-for-1 exchange, but 3 inhibitors going to fall here for Fnatic. I don't think 1-for-1 is enough.
Now Supa going to be able to free fire now with Elyoya going in.
Good dredge line away from Mikyx, still caught up with the permafrost. Does not die to the Yone. Grub's pushing in. 3-wave does Baron up minions as well, although Razork was able to deal with one of them. There's a lot of cannons here as Jojo dashes back out. almost like some sort of siege, as the cannons eventually will be killed off.
They didn't bring the trebuchets though, so they got to go back to the dragons.
A far superior siege artillery, I think.
It's some weird
trebuchets.
Age of Empires thing. I don't really know where dragons got introduced, but they're in there somewhere.
Yeah. I was going to say Siege of Borealis, and then I remember that's an M+ dungeon. It doesn't make me sound as good as I want it to, does it?
I don't have enough knowledge to tell you how that siege went, so you could just completely lie to me.
All I know is there's a Horde and Alliance entrance, so you have to go through the Horde one apparently, and it doesn't show up on your minimap. MKOI have won this game, chat, okay? If they haven't won this game, Sally will eat a shoe.
Yeah. Or you release the goblin that you did.
Oh, we bring out the goblin? Well, this isn't based to World First, okay? I don't think League of Legends fans can handle that. Chat is just these nuts. That's all they're saying right now. As MKOI, 8,500 gold ahead, 3 inhibitors to the good. Soul available to them in 4.5 minutes time if they want it, but I don't think they need to wait that long. 3 items on Myrwn, has the Sevilda's Grudge to make sure no one can escape. 3 items as well on Elyoya with that Kanik Wukong. Double super minions in every lane, but not synced up as well as MKOI would like. I think bot and top are going to crash about the same time. Fnatic unable to deal with mid right now. Here come the minions. A sudden disc put down. Upset can use the bullet time. Mikyx goes in, and they will not kill off Alvaro! Oh my god, His Majesty in Madrid! As MKOI finally engaged, Fnatic extend into them. Humanoid dives in with the Emperor's Divide, but he still can't kill off Jojo. MKOI, 5 players alive. Oscarinin flashes away and ruins the perfect line. Oscar underneath the fountain will be killed by a true shot barrage as we go all the way to game 3.
Beautiful stuff by MKOI. So controlled, so clean, and that last play was just the cherry on top.